Relations, John Bolton, joins me right now. Ambassador Bolton, welcome in. A pleasure to have you, sir.
Great to be with you.
Let's talk about Navalny. You have a brand new op-ed out in The Hill, and it is titled, "Navalny's Murder Demonstrates Putin's Confidence." So what do you mean by this? Do you mean that Putin ordered his death? Biden certainly thinks so. Or is it more of a larger picture of where they are on the battleground? 2 years since Putin invaded Ukraine now this Saturday, and they just had a big score in Advika as well, Ambassador Bolton.
Right. Well, I think Putin chose this particular moment to see Navalny dispatched because he thinks the tides are moving in his favor. He doesn't fear any domestic consequences. There have been some demonstrations at memorials for Navalny that he's just cleared away inside Russia. The Democratic opposition is in exile or in hiding in Russia. Prigozhin is dead. Any sense of turmoil in the army, the intelligence, or other security services, not there. And on the battlefield in Ukraine, as you just mentioned, the Russian army has, in the past couple of weeks, had some small but potentially significant successes. And of course, Putin can see the disarray in Washington and the concern in Europe about what may happen, not just to the aid package that Congress is debating now, but whether, if Donald Trump is elected, the United States will even remain in NATO. So I think Putin's confident. You know, you've heard these expressions of outrage from a number of Western leaders. Now we'll see what they do about it.
Right. And, Evan Gershkovich is still being held there, the Wall Street Journal reporter. I'd like to ask you about hostages, American hostages, when it comes to Israel. There's a report now that Qatar's prime minister is criticizing Israel's prime minister Benjamin Netanyahu for pressuring Doha to push Hamas to release hostages. They're saying, well, Bibi's prolonging the war, Ambassador. But many say this is something U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken should be doing, more forceful in these hostage negotiations happening right now between Qatar and Israel. Where do you stand?
Well, I think the administration is less concerned with the hostages than they are with imposing a Palestinian state and the so-called two-state solution on Israel. The pause, the ceasefire to get the hostages released is a step not just to free the remaining hostages, but to put the conflict on hold and then ultimately pressure Israel further into accepting a Palestinian state, which I think is badly misguided. I think the administration is more concerned about the risk of a wider war than it is in dealing with the causes of the war, which is, by definition here, Iran. Indeed, there's a lot of speculation in Israel that the Biden White House is trying to negotiate a pause in the conflict in Iraq so that America can withdraw all of its forces. That gives Iran a huge victory. It gives them a lot of what I think they may have been seeking when this war began on October the 7th.
It sure does. There's some news stories out of the UN, and as the former ambassador, I'd like to get your reaction to this video. According to Israel's authorities, this is a UN relief worker participating in the October 7th attacks. We hadn't actually seen explicit video of this. Reportedly, this is, an UNRWA worker, a man shot in one of the kibbutz. He's driving off with him. We know House Republicans launching a probe into the Biden administration's funding of UNRWA, Ambassador. Before funding was halted just a short time ago, do you think that there was knowledge that UNRWA workers were working with Hamas, were working with the terrorists?
It is 100% certain that they were. UNRWA, the UN Relief and Works Administration in the Gaza Strip and West Bank, has about 40,000 employees total, plus or minus. Of that, I would say 99% of the employees are Palestinians. In the Gaza Strip, in effect, UNRWA is like the civilian part of the Hamas government. They work together all the time. They work together with the Red Cross, the Palestinian Red Crescent Society, all composed of Palestinians who are working together. They all know what's going on. The only surprise to me is that we haven't seen more evidence of UNRWA workers participating actually in the October 7 operation, not necessarily crossing the border into Israel, but providing assistance, logistical assistance inside Gaza. I think the more that the House digs into this, the better.